Kushner's firm, let me reset. Trust fund baby slumlord Jared Kushner's firm received $285 million Deutsche Bank loan just before Election Day this past November. This is from a report in the Washington Post. Month before the election day, Jared Kushner's real estate company finalized a $285 million loan as part of a refinancing for its property near Times Square in Manhattan. The loan came at a critical moment. Kushner was playing a crucial role in the presidential campaign of his father-in-law, Donald Trump. The lender, Deutsche Bank, was negotiating to settle a federal mortgage fraud case and charges from New York state regulators that it aided Russian money laundering scheme. The case was settled in December and January. Kushner's own association with Deutsche Bank is among a number of financial matters that could come under his focus as his business activities are reviewed by special counsel Robert Mueller, who's examining Kushner as part of a broader investigation into possible Russian influence into the election. Now, all of this stuff, as we know, is all purely a function of almost certain criminality, influence peddling, and handing the keys to truly some of the most unethical, sleazy, and disgusting and grotesque people on the planet. I mean, the only public use of people like Jared and Ivanka is that they demonstrate Thomas Piketty's lessons about capital and the sclerotic nature of inherited wealth in modern capitalism. That's the only positive purpose that they serve. So we have an administration that we already know where there's no distinction between personal benefit, public policy, where basically it seems like almost in exchange for an arms deal with the Saudis, there's at least implicit sign-off from the Trump administration for a radical escalation in the Gulf states with Qatar and a insane list of Saudi demands, including cutting off Al Jazeera. And we see with this Deutsche Bank loan that, of course, Jared Kushner, like everybody else, is personally benefiting in a way that obviously arises to quite clear possible conflicts of interest, which are being criminally investigated.
It's working, and it's very exciting.
That's Jared Kushner on the Deutsche Bank deal. No, excuse me. That was him celebrating, or what was that? That was after his
with his tax
bat mitzvah?
summit.
Oh, his tax summit, excuse me. Or after the selling arms to the homicidal Saudi monarchy. So I say this, and then, of course, we have stuff that isn't even, possibly criminal, but just stuff that we see day in and day out every day, like Mitch McConnell shutting down democracy in the Senate, first to steal a Supreme Court seat and then to create a healthcare destruction bill in secret, just specifically geared to the financial interests of essentially several hundred families in the United States, right? And then, of course, we had all of the pseudo scandals around Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, but also the fact that they, of course, voted for legislation that benefited the financial services industry while taking money from the financial services industry. The just sort of day in and day out bureaucratic corruption of our modern state. I say all this to say that there is a new major scandal brewing. I'm calling it Burlington Ghazi. That is an investigation of Jane and Bernie Sanders. Now, that's right. Bernie Sanders and his wife apparently are just as corrupt as anyone else, and they've had to lawyer up because of a possible FBI investigation. And here's basically what happened. Quoting now from Paste magazine, 2004, Jane Sanders, Bernie's wife, became president of Burlington College in Vermont. She orchestrated the purchase of a lakefront property at a discount from the Roman Catholic Diocese, who were financially burdened by lawsuits. It was a bad move. She had to take out a bunch of loans from various corners and anticipated financial benefits that never materialized. The deal was finalized in 2010, and Sanders was forced out in 2011. This is as president of Burlington College, partially because of financial matters and partially because of personal conflicts. The college closed in 2016. Brady Toensing, a Republican apparatchik in Vermont who chaired Trump's campaign in the state and has never liked Bernie, managed to get federal investigators involved and soon introduced allegations with absolutely no supporting evidence that Bernie Sanders used his position as senator to exert pressure on certain banks to approve of a loan of the land deal. Toad Singh is famous for launching attacks on Democrats in the state, including the former governor. He even tried to nail Bernie Sanders on bogus campaign finance charges in 2016. And his mom was one of the Benghazi power players. But this is frivolous even by his standards. And so basically what you have here is that Jane Sanders was bad at leading a college. Sorry? Bad at leading college financially. I guess she could have been. Yes, that's right. Totally fair enough. She could have been good otherwise, but she made a risky decision. She made a plan on benefits that never materialized. Of course, in some way, I mean, it's the Enron scandal in some ways, banking future profits, except they literally put it as current profits. She just anticipated things that weren't there. There's an implication that's completely unproven that Bernie exerted pressure on banks. And now, like any sensible people, they have a retained counsel because they are the subject of a political witch hunt. And I just want to say, and we'll see, okay, maybe things will emerge. I think probably not. I think it's a boneheaded move.
You think that's pressure on banks?
Yeah, you think that's pressure on banks? Next time we'll come in, we won't fucking ask for it. I want to see your signature on my loan for my wife's hippie school, or your brains will be on that check. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Lakefront property for sale, and we want to take it for the school, and there's something wrong with that all of a sudden?
Oh, all of a sudden, look, my wife's a sweet goddamn hippie woman, and she wants those kids to learn art therapy, and she's going to get that loan. Or ask Steve Scalise. So anyways,
jokes about the guy who got shot.
I can't promise that.
Come on.
I can't promise that. So at any rate, but I just want to say, people like me who had no problem debunking through it. I think that there are real scandals around the Clintons, mainly just their politics and who they associate with and policies they pursue. But there was all sorts of insanity and nonsense that we still hear about. Seth Rich, the email obsession, which was dumb politics, but not this major global criminal enterprise that people made it out to be. The stuff on the Clinton Foundation that turned out to be bullshit. All of this stuff, and we debunked it, right? Even though we were Bernie people. I see dead-end Hillary-bot morons on Twitter celebrating the most flimsy pretense of a scandal imaginable. I mean, just when you hear the words loan for Burlington College come out of your mouth as some type of serious act of corruption, just reflect on yourself and how completely delusional you sound. So I would just say that if people who were progressive but not prone to conspiracy theories and didn't want to support reckless Republican witch cunts that were aided by the Republican Party, Republican apparatchiks, and the FBI, then witch hunts. Oh, my God. I wish you didn't point that out to me. I wish you didn't point that out to me. That's so bad. That's not good. Sad. I need more rest. If we can do that, I think that you can, at the very least, not try to make something out of Burlington Ghazi. Thank you.
Hi, folks. Sam Seder here. We still need your help on our Patreon page. YouTube ads have come back, but not nearly as much as we had before. So if you can help us out, any little bit helps. Head over to our Patreon page right at this URL, and you'll help us keep helping you by making videos